What's up? It's Juice Beats, back again with another race video. And yo, it's been like, I don't know, 2 months since this race. Got a little busy after the season was over. This was my last race of the season. This is the Giro at the Gateway Cup right here. And the first corner, there's a wreck right there already. I'm not sure exactly what happened. I think they may have taken the turn a little bit too wide, and it doesn't look like they went down or anything like that, but definitely it looked like they hit the fence there. So that was the very first turn of the race, and yeah, I didn't get the start right there. There's another wreck right there in the second corner of the race. So 2 wrecks already. This is the very first lap of the race here on the Giro, and then we're going right up this hill right after this. So I would just tell you, like, this course right here was not fitted for me. This was, not a great course. I was down here in Gateway, St. Louis to, have fun, see what I could do on the national level as a Cat 2, a newly changed to Cat 2. So these were my first races as a Cat 2 in the season. I had been a Cat 3 basically the entire season. I won, I think, 6 races this year, and so I moved up into the new category there. But so I didn't even quite get to it because the footage started a little bit later than I normally would have started it. But that was because I couldn't get the camera to get started early on enough. The back camera was already on, but the front camera was not, and I got it, set right as we were about to go into that first turn into this race. And yeah, caught those 2 wrecks early on. So and I'd already got the notification, I guess, from other riders who had ridden this course throughout the day already, that turn 2 was a pinch point, and that was Wreck City for the day. If you go back, I know it's been 2 months, but if you go back and look at some of the races on YouTube, or if you see some pictures online, you'll see that a lot of people went down during this day, even in the pro races. And like I said, it was a pinch point, but I think also, having the paint on the ground, even though it's not wet, I think it was, slightly slick. So during this race, I tried to stay on the inside as much as I could here. And the other thing about this race that I remember is, while we had probably 80 to 100 riders in here, just like the days prior, this race was a little bit, it wasn't as wide open as the other ones. So if you weren't up at the front, you were having to slow down into the turns pretty significantly. So you can see, we're going uphill at this point, and I'm not sure of the gradient of this hill right here, but it's definitely a long stretch uphill. It felt very similar to Sunny King. I think that one is a little bit sharper and a little bit shorter. This one is more elongated and it's gradual, basically the same, but definitely a tough one, especially going at the speeds we're going in this race. I want to say that the last 2 days we averaged like 29 miles an hour in those races. This one maybe just slightly less. Had to look back here in just a second and see what the average was, and I'll put that up on the screen here in just a minute. But definitely a fast race. And so like I said, so you're going uphill on that back stretch, and then you're going downhill on this stretch. And because of that long uphill, for me, obviously, being a bigger rider, I've said that in plenty of my videos prior, watts per kilogram is a big thing on the hills. And you only get a short amount of time on those turns because they're so short that you'll get a chance to kind of rest. And then going down this hill, everybody's pushing it pretty hard, especially the little guys up at the front. So that was tough for me as well, because it didn't give me enough time to really catch my breath. And so I'm basically pushing out pretty hard throughout this race the entire time. And, third day in a row, pushing out, you know, these speeds and then going up this hill, and this course is not really designed for bigger guys. It was definitely taking a toll early on. And there's another wreck over there to the side. Wrecks all day long in turn 2. It was weird that there was a wreck early on in the race in turn 1, but yeah, turn 2 all day long for this race. So here we go, just a little bit further into the race. And I'm talking with this Piedmont rider here to my left, and he was down there in Dalton and racing in that one, and we're both talking about how much better that race was for us. He's a little bit bigger rider. I'm bigger than him, obviously, but we're both talking about how many watts we were putting out going through that second corner there. And you know, I think he said he was like 800 or something like that, and you know, I'm over 1,000 watts going into that corner, going uphill and trying to keep up with the rest of the group here. This is the third lap in, and yeah, that's a lot of watts to be pushing out this early into the race. And it's very, very tough to kind of handle. But here we go. We've got a straightaway crash right here, which I'm not sure what I think. Actually, my teammate Grant, I think, went down in that. I didn't see him there because it was so quick, and I didn't see where he went down. But I think it was just like an overlap of wheels or something right there. So it kind of, you know, I don't want to say like the wreck was good for me or anything like that. I don't want people to think that. But when a wreck like that happens and you kind of feel like you're dangling a little bit, it kind of helps you get back into the mix a little bit, if that makes sense. I don't like for that stuff to happen. I don't want people to go down or anything like that. So that's not what I'm saying. But when things like that happen into a race, it does, like if you're dangling off the back, it does kind of help you a little bit to stay in the mix. But you can see, like, I'm pretty tired already in this race. Like, you know, going around, having to slow down into each turn, you know, 1 and 2, and then going up that hill, pushing out over 1,000 watts just to get back with the group, and then having to push out a bunch of watts to stay with the group and going up the hill. It takes a toll on you, especially early in the race like this. Yeah, and we're slowing down a little. Like there, I think it was okay, but like I remember early on, we're doing like, you know, less than 20 miles an hour going through those turns because we're having to push our, you know, squeeze brakes or whatever going through the turns here. It felt a little bit better on these turns right here when it's a little bit more wide open, but that also means that the rest of the peloton's pretty far away at this point. And you can see people are falling off already. Like early on in this race, yeah, we've got a really big gap right here as well. I'm still trying to push though. Like I'm not gonna give up. You know, you guys, if you've watched some of my videos, I'm not gonna give up at the end of a peloton like this. I'm gonna try to stick in there the best I can and see what I can do. But yeah, it was getting tougher and tougher to stay with the group and keep pushing out those watts. And if you guys saw, you know, I posted the normalized power for this one was 343 for me, so pretty up there, over 300 watts for, you know, the average as well. So a pretty good amount of watts to put out in this race, and you know, half of it was downhill. So that's a lot of that's a lot of power to put out into a race like this and try to keep up and stay with everybody. But you can see there's nobody really behind me at this point, and I've got a big gap in front of me, so I'm kind of sitting in nowhere's land in the back of the peloton here, and I'm hoping that I can maybe catch on to the back here just a little bit. You know, there's some guys entering back from being out in the wreck, so there we go. I'm kind of getting in there again, sticking in there. Can I stay with the group a little bit longer and you know, draft a little bit better at this point in the race? But like I said, I mean, third day, definitely tired, not a course for me. So this one definitely took a toll and was definitely tough for me. And here we go. This is lap 7 coming into the first corner there. And yeah, catching up to the back of the peloton. You can see the motorcyclist behind me. That's not a good sign. Let's see what I can do here coming out of this second turn. And yeah, we're scrubbing a little bit of speed. And now I've got to punch it. I'm doing, consistent 800 over 6. Yeah, just a lot of watts there. And yeah, people are still pulling away. And I guess part of that is the draft. Part of that is just being tired and not being able to hang on to the back here. But you can see I'm dangling there. I'm putting out some watts. But yeah, I'm a little bit too far behind to stay on some wheels here. It's starting to get ugly at this point in the race. And like I said, this hill was no joke. I'm looking over here. I don't know if my the altimeter is correct or not. But yeah, up to I think almost 6% at some points in that sustained climb there. Yeah, watts per kilogram definitely sucks. And I can hear myself kind of breathing hard and coughing it out here. But I did, so I got back to the wheel here. Let's see what I can do on this downstretch though. There's some people falling off here. I can tell you I didn't get last in the race, so I guess that's kind of a good thing, maybe. But this, this super long stretch downhill, people are absolutely crushing it out front, and I'm taking wind. For this race, you've got to be at the front. You've got to be, within the top 20 wheels to be able to stick into this one and have a decent race. You can't start out basically like I did. I thought I had a good position at the beginning of the race, but I quickly, that first turn where the wreck happened and the slowdown, and then second turn and the wreck happened and the slowdown, and then having to punch it going up the hill and losing spaces and losing places early on in the race, that really just that killed whatever shot I had at sticking in this race. I don't know if I would have finished if I had stayed up there or not, but I think I would have had a much better time or a much better chance sticking into this one if I had stayed up closer to the front and drafted a little bit better here. And yeah, my teammate Grant, he did a good job of that. He ended up going down in that wreck earlier and got back into it and was able to stick in there till the end. Didn't quite have the finish that he wanted to in this one though, but yeah, I think he was hurting a little bit from the wreck as well, so that definitely took him back a little bit in this one. But overall, it's kind of the end of my race at this point, close to the 20-minute mark. I was trying to get back on there at the end, but it's just too much power putting out, too many watts putting out, going up that hill, and yeah, just overall just taking a toll on me, making those turns and trying to punch it out of there too much. So anyway, so this was my last race of the season. Overall though, I think I finished out pretty well, and six wins this year, a couple in the Masters race and the rest in the Cat 3s. So pretty good there. I'm hoping to come back next season, finally as a Cat 2 and start my journey there and hopefully get some more wins and things. So it'll be a little bit more, pro races and things like that for me. So because the way they break up the categories is usually it's either Pro 1, 2, 3, or there's a couple 2, 3 races throughout the year. So we'll see. I mean, this one was a 2-3 race, so there's definitely, you know, some big races that I can do as a 2-3. But I think for the most part, most of the races are broken up into the, you know, pro 1-2s or something like that. So be racing with some pros next year, and we'll see how I do. I'm hoping I get in some, you know, in some much better shape. I think towards the end of the season here, I was getting a little bit out of shape. It's kind of hard to keep that shape throughout the entire year and stay in tip top. But yeah, I mean, you know, towards the end of the year here, you know, I was doing my best to stay there. But yeah, it gets tough, especially around the work schedule and when it starts hitting, you know, that fall season with photography and stuff like that. It gets tougher and tougher for me to get, you know, practice rides in and stuff like that and training and all that. But yeah, so that was my last race this season. I've skipped over a couple of races. I'm going to post those. I just haven't got to them yet. I've been so busy, and that's why I haven't posted anything in the last, you know, couple months or whatever. But I will hopefully get those out to you guys pretty soon and go through those, and you guys can see that. But anyway, if you like this video, please like and subscribe. Hit that bell icon so you know when I post videos. And yo, I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Here they come right now. It's going to come down to a sprint. Oh, he's going to take it. 399 unofficially taking the win. And that is going to be your 2025 champion as Cole Oleski coming out of Indianapolis, Indiana.